In politics, some moves spark debate. Others ignite full-blown firestorms. And this was an inferno from the moment it was announced. A single decision, made quietly behind closed doors, has detonated into a national controversy that's gripping headlines, dominating social feeds, and shaking the foundations of power. What you're about to hear isn't just about one appointment. It's about loyalty, influence, backroom deals, and a political gamble that could change the course of history. The announcement hit like a thunderclap on a quiet afternoon. Without warning, the appointment was made official, an unexpected choice that left seasoned political watchers scrambling for answers. There were no long vetting processes, no open discussions, just a press release that seemed to drop out of nowhere. Within minutes, reactions flooded in from every corner of the political spectrum. Some praised the move as bold and strategic. Others condemned it as reckless and self-serving. Behind the scenes, insiders say the decision was months in the making. Quiet conversations in hallways, late-night phone calls, carefully timed meetings away from the cameras. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment move. It was calculated, and it set off a chain reaction no one could fully control. The backlash didn't just stay online. It spilled into television debates, political talk shows, and even late-night monologues. Within 24 hours, the appointment was being dissected from every possible angle. Cable news channels ran split-screen segments showing the announcement alongside footage from past controversies. Talk radio lit up with furious callers, and political commentators, many of whom rarely agree on anything, found themselves united in at least one sentiment. This was risky. Social media became a battlefield. Supporters rallied behind the appointee, touting past wins, while critics fired back with receipts, threads listing alleged failures and questionable decisions. The conversation wasn't cooling down. It was escalating. And then came the whispers that this wasn't about qualifications at all. It was about loyalty. And if that was true, it meant the stakes were much higher than anyone thought. Digging deeper, reporters began to uncover a web of connections that stretched far beyond this one appointment. Old alliances resurfaced, past favors were brought to light, and slowly, a picture began to form. One where influence wasn't just a byproduct of the role, it was the point of the role. Political insiders hinted at an unspoken understanding: protect certain interests, and in return, those interests protect you. The narrative took a darker turn when investigative journalists uncovered ties between the appointee and figures who themselves were embroiled in unresolved controversies. Suddenly, this wasn't just about whether someone was fit for the job. It was about whether the appointment was part of a broader strategy to consolidate power behind the scenes, using legal authority as both a shield and a weapon. Public rallies erupted in multiple cities. Protesters carried signs, chanted slogans, and demanded transparency. In some places, counter-protesters showed up, leading to heated confrontations. News crews captured every second. Meanwhile, lawmakers faced mounting pressure to take a stance. Some doubled down in support, warning against what they called politically motivated hysteria. Others pushed for immediate oversight hearings. Every statement, every tweet, every televised interview seemed to raise the temperature another degree. And still, the appointee remained largely silent, appearing only briefly in front of cameras, speaking in carefully rehearsed lines, never stepping outside the talking points. That silence only fueled speculation. Then came the first crack in the official narrative. A former staffer, speaking under the condition of anonymity, claimed that the appointment had been locked in weeks before the public announcement, not because of merit, but because of behind-the-scenes assurances that certain investigations would be steered in a more favorable direction. Though unverified, the claim landed with explosive force. Watchdog groups demanded answers. Editorial boards called for independent inquiries. And for the first time, the question wasn't just why this person was chosen, it was what they were chosen to do. And just when it seemed the story couldn't get any bigger, the leaks began. Documents, allegedly from internal meetings, surfaced, hinting that the role came with the power to influence which legal cases advanced and which quietly disappeared. If legitimate, it meant this wasn't merely symbolic power, it was a potential tool for shaping political outcomes. The appointee's allies called the leaks fabrications, but insiders whispered that parts of the documents were uncomfortably accurate. Opposition leaders seized the moment, calling for emergency hearings and even floating the idea of legal challenges to block the appointment altogether. Public opinion began to shift. The once solid support base started to fracture. The questions were no longer whispers, they were headlines. What began as a quiet personnel move has become one of the most contentious and high-stakes political showdowns in years. The protests, the leaks, the whispers of backroom deals, it's all spiraled into a storm that shows no signs of slowing down. And as the battle intensifies, the country is left asking, will the truth ever fully come out? Will those in power face consequences? Or will this be just another controversy swallowed by the relentless news cycle? One thing is certain, this story isn't over. And when the next chapter unfolds, we'll be here, breaking it down piece by piece.